Bon. Donc je passe la main à Luki et Carolina.
Thank you. So yeah, hi again. So we hope you had a great start of the day today. You had a coffee and breakfast. And yeah, first of all, we would like to thank Frederick for inviting us to come all the way from Berlin to be here and be able to, on behalf of Flixbus team and our researcher team, to share with you guys here, and hopefully we can learn from each other. So a short introduction again about us. So my name is Luki. I'm a UX researcher. I've been working in Flixbus for almost 3 years. And interestingly, my background is UX design, so I changed my focus to become user researcher. And I've been living in Berlin for 5 years. I'm originally from Indonesia, just maybe a nice information. So nice to be here in Paris. And I would like to, maybe Carolina would like to introduce herself more.
I think I just did, hello, bonjour. Just didn't mention that I also have a different background. I came from branding and product development. So I used to do more marketing research, and then I changed to UX research and to the online business.
All right. Okay, so let's start. So we're from Flixbus, so I would be interested to know how many of you guys know about Flixbus. All right, so great. So Flixbus is a global mobility platform that offers new ways of traveling that is affordable, comfortable, and sustainable. And we have buses and trains, as you can see here. And our vision is smart and green mobility for everyone to experience the world. And just a short figures about Flixbus. We are more than 100 million passengers. We have more than 100 million passengers traveling with us since 2013, with more than 2,000 destinations, more than 350 daily connections, and we are in 29 countries now, and even more. So it's hard for you to communicate with the team, and you give the design, and then that's it. You don't know what happens afterwards. And at Flixbus is very interesting structure because we are flat hierarchy, so we don't have someone that we report directly as our manager, and the team as well, they report to their stakeholders. And so what we do is that we report directly to the teams and also the stakeholders. And these are some challenges that we are facing in this stage. So I was a UX designer back then at Flixbus. People come to me already, hey, Luki, I have this solution. Can you make this look nice? It happens a lot. I mean, maybe you are a UX designer, you can relate to that. And if you have a few of design solutions, you don't know which one that would perform better. So they would A/B test for everything. It's good, but I mean, you cannot rely only on A/B tests because you know only the what, but you don't know the why. So you don't know why you don't know why this design performs better. And quick and dirty solution. People come to you, hey, yeah, let's do it like this for now and we can fix it later. But the reality is never fix. So quite relatable, I would say. And so if I can summarize the challenges on this stage is that people misunderstood UX as a role. People are reluctant to involve UX in the process, and we have lacking of resources of UX. What we want to change is that to make people aware of UX and to make them included in the product development process. So that's what we want to do in order to go to the next stage. So I will go through some action points that you can try to implement in your organization. This is what we experience at Flixbus. So we start with first conducting usability tests with employees, and then we try to leverage usability tests with real customers as a common practice, and we also involve everyone in the process. And last but not least is introducing design sprints to show how to build and iterate the product based on users' needs, and also how to include UX research in the sprint. So I will go through the examples. Okay, first, we start with a usability testing with employees. At first, as a UX designer, I don't know how to interview people. I don't know how to conduct the proper usability testing. So I will start like super basic by like having something cheap and easy to do, which is just grab people around you and test the product. So I'll come up with like a super simple task, and it's a good start actually to get the traction from people in the company because they are not used to this, and this is a way that we can show them how to do it. So at that time, I was using a remote testing tool that I give them the task and they can participate remotely. So we get some like nice feedback from there. And the second thing is having a usability test as a common practice. So I will show you quickly the process of how we conduct usability tests and how to involve people in the process. So let's imagine a product manager come to you to have a research request. And what we do is that we prepare this document where they can fill the document with the team, consists of the goal of the research questions that they have, if they have also hypotheses and assumptions, and of course the KPIs, what they wanted to achieve from this feature and why they need the research for this. And after that, we have a meeting with them again in order to align, basically. So we show the document again and we talk about it, and also we talk about the participants, what criteria of participants that you would like to recruit, so it helps us for recruitment, and also with the organization. So we want them also to participate actively in the session itself. So who wants to be a moderator, who wants to be observer, and also the time and everything. So during the session itself, as I said before, we asked them to actively participating, and here is that when we stream the session from the other room, so the other team members could watch from the other room, and they can be even like they can take notes also, and also even to become a moderator. So this is a really nice example because moderating is not easy. You have to learn the skill how to interview people and how to not ask leading questions. So those stuff is not something that easy to do. But as you can see here, our product manager, it was the first time for him moderating the session. It's because he already participated in 4 user labs before, so he knows, like he got used to like how to ask the right questions. And even our developer was moderating for the first time, even though he messed up a little bit, but I think it's really good that he can experience this. And also we have other team members, the developers were taking the notes. Okay, next is the analysis. And we are using this affinity map in order to help us analyze the finding collaboratively. So once we are done with one session, we put the findings on Post-its and we put them on the wall, as you can see here. And we put the severity level with the small dots. So for example, 3 out of 5 people having this problem. So it helps the team then to prioritize which finding that should be taken into action. And sharing the findings. When sharing the findings, we would like to encourage discussion. So we want people to be involved in the discussion. We have the Slack channel where we show the report and we talk about it. And we also have Confluence. We share within our sprint reviews. We sometimes involve our stakeholders in the sprint reviews. And we also come into their sprint reviews sometimes to share the findings. And once a month, we have a product sharing presentation where everyone can come in the company that we present the findings there. So it's about the updates of product development, so everyone can participate. So we really, really promote our findings everywhere. And just the tips for like showing the findings to demonstrate the value of the learnings. Videos, of course, is very, very still powerful. If you don't have time to do the report, you can just come to the team and, hey, look at this user, is like, he's struggling so much in this feature. So video is still a quick way to do. But having a report, like instead of showing a long, long report, we prepare a template that is easily digestible. So for stakeholders, they can just skim and read things that are the most interesting for them. Last but not least is design sprint. So we kick off design sprint 1 year ago. At that time, people were reluctant. Why do I have to spend 4 to 5 days activity? Maybe you don't know design sprint. How many of you knows design sprint? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, maybe, so design sprint is a framework from Google where you can, like, people participate sitting together in one room talking about the problem and coming up with a solution in the end that are tested with users. So we did a 4 days design sprint at first, and as you can see here, people were reluctant in the beginning, but hey, let's just do it and experiment. And we also involve business in this. It's very important to involve also business people in this design sprint. Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. Okay, sorry, this one, it should be before. The follow-up. So after you are done with sharing the findings, you also do the follow-up. So because you have list of findings, right, that you found from the report, but then what happens after? So we sometimes just, hey, my product manager, what happens with the button here? Did you fix it, or like what did you do about it? So either we asked it this question in the sprint review, or we just meet this person on the hallway and hey, what's happening with this button? I mean, you can do formal and informal way. Sorry for this confusion with the slide. Okay, now on this third stage, adopting UX as a process, I will hand it over to Carolina to explain to you about the challenges and strategies.
So after all the initiatives Luki did, we end up in the next stage. So just to remember, she was talking a little bit about awareness, and now we say that we are adopting the process. So what are people saying to us at this moment? The first thing is like, hey, I want to test this, I want to test that, a lot of requests. So people realize that we have a team now in the company who is doing research, and we are really pushing them to give us requests. So we are even asking, hey, do you have a problem? Do you want to test? A lot of people say, I want to test something, and we are saying yes to everything. There's also people who say, okay, I want to do research, but I don't have time for user labs. They still think it's a complicated and long process. And people are also questioning, so why are you only testing with 5 people in these user labs? How can I trust this data? Only 5 people, what does it mean? So they are getting more involved, they want to know more, but they still have a lot of questions. And these are the challenges that you will go through when you are on this stage. So people really see the value they want to include, but they don't know how. So we still need to inform them and teach them how to. They start questioning everything because they want to know more about the process. And as I said, we are saying yes to everything. So we are doing a lot of studies at the same time. So we start to question, how are we going to maintain the quality if we are doing so much? And okay, the real goal here is to organize the house and really create a UX process. And this is what we are really trying to do right now, this last year in Flixbus. So the action points, I will go through them and then give you guys examples to inspire you, is hire researchers. So with all the work that Luki did, we kind of convinced the management that we needed more resources. We needed more people to work and do research with us. And the average that we consider is like 1 research to support around 3 areas, 3 teams. This is how we are working right now. Not only people, but we need to scale research even more. So how we did it? We adopt a remote testing tool. So we ensure that research is not going to be a bottleneck here. So we're not going to invest a lot of time with research. We have a remote testing tool now, and we can test quickly and often. The other thing is that we see more people doing research, as Luki showed you guys, developers, product owners. How are we going to qualify these people and make sure they are doing not just research, but good research? And in the end, this is the time to experiment. So as I said, we receive a lot of requests. So let's try different methods or mixed methods, or let's try everything we want to test, like design sprints and different ways of doing research. So let's go through the examples. About the researchers. In the past, most people who work with research were people from human factors, so sociologists, psychologists, and what we truly believe is that anyone can do research. You just need to be very curious, to have empathy, to be non-judgmental, and in our case, we thought it was very interesting to have an eclectic team. So, as Luki mentioned, she's a designer, this is her background. In our team, we also have me that came from marketing and branding development. We have Pietro, who is human-computer interaction, Natasha's from linguistics. So we really believe that this eclectic team with different backgrounds, it makes it easier for us first to communicate with teams. So talking to marketing, talking to designers, it's kind of easy for us. And also because we have different points of view, different languages and different ideas to share with the team. Regarding the remote testing tool, it's just a simple remote testing tool, but what's behind it and what the way we found to work with it. We first have access just for us to the research, and when more people got interested, the thing is that we give access to everybody so they could set up their own research, and that really make a difference. Of course, in the beginning, we were checking the setup and it was a little bit messed up, but people really were trying and were getting more involved in the process. So it's just a small tip, but giving access to the team can really help them getting involved and understanding a bit more about research. And one other thing is that this is an example of our teams and how many research they do. So you will see some teams that are more into remote studies, other teams are more into user labs and really inviting users to test their product. So the thing here is, as well as the company has its maturity stage, each team also has its own maturity stage. So you will have designers who are super independent and interested in doing research, so they don't need so much support, but you will also find people who have no idea, have never done research before, and they need a lot of support. And this is normal, and we are understanding how can we teach these people better, how can we support them in a better way. And this leads us to the third point, which is the Research Academy. And this is an initiative we are creating in order to teach people and to educate and democratize UX in the company. So we have workshops on how to conduct user lab, how to write good research questions, for example, how to phrase questions. And this is one practical example. This is a product owner team, and we went with them to the bus station and we did a guerrilla test together. So we made sure all of them were interviewing users, and it was really interesting because in the next month we heard that they were going there by themselves. So the product owner was taking his team, the developer, the engineers, the designer, to really do interview by themselves. So this is really how it works. We really have to go there and do it, but it really feels that after that they feel more encouraged and more independent to do their own research. And the last thing is like experiment and share. So we still have people at this moment that think research is expensive, research is complicated, it's not for me. So how we make it easier for them? We were really doing a marketing campaign, like an internal campaign, to show how research is cool. So let's make research cool again. And we showed them, for example, that research can be cheap. So this is an example of a simulated bus. So it was kind of expensive for us to take a bus out of the street for us to do a test. So we said, okay, we need to do a test with this check-in machine. We don't have a bus. but it's okay, let's create a bus in our office. So we simulated this bus with sofas and benches, and it was enough because we created passports, fake IDs, we gave the users luggages, we invited people, and we even have someone who was pretending to be a driver. And that's the idea behind it. You don't need the real thing. You can simulate, you can do it in a cheaper and creative way, and it helped us so much. So the team was super thankful to have new insights for this check-in machine, and we didn't even needed to spend so much money with it. You can also show that research can be quick. So we didn't have time here to create a prototype, so we went with a paper prototype to test this new feature, and it really helped us because we could do research just super quickly, just with the idea in mind, sketching and testing this with customers. And research can be creative. So we did some experiments and inviting people to co-create with us. This was a project called My Dream Bus. So we invited Flixbus customers and non-customers, and we asked them, what will be the bus of your dreams? So be free, be creative. They draw, they had discussions, they had games, and it really helped us have ideas in just a simple way and creative way. And we were really showing this around. And what happened after this internal campaign we did, the demand of tests really skyrocketed. So we have people coming to our room saying, I heard you did this research for this other manager. Someone told me about your team. Can you test this for me? People were really coming for us. So in the 2017, when Looking was starting, we were doing research only for products, so apps and websites. In 2018, new areas started talking to us. So travel experience, customer service, we were testing voice assistant, new things outside the product. And this year was very interesting because we were really pushing to get more strategical. So how can we test new ideas and not only products? And we got into new countries, department and marketing. So we are really feeling that we are going into more strategical problems and strategical research. And just to show you how the structure changed, Luki showed you guys that the UX team was outside of the teams, and now in the third stage, in the end, after 1 year of strategies, we are into this situation here. So more people were hired. We have the designers, who are the green circles, embedded in the team. So many teams hired designers because they were really feeling the need for these professionals. And us, as the UX research team, we are now kind of a hub of centralized unity. So we work together and helping the teams like a consultancy agency inside the company. So every time the teams had a request, they call us, and the designers are super allies for us in the teams. They are like a door that we can get in and really get in contact with them and connect and do research together. So they are super important part of our work. And this is a bit of the stage 3. We are still in this work in progress, so pushing to go to the next stage, but we want to make sure that UX is really as a process, a structured process before we go to the next stage. And then, just as a final.
Yeah. Just to summarize that, to have a takeaways, what we have learned, what we have learned from all of this past 3 years, we have learned that we need to be really proactive, start doing it, because people don't know what is it about, people don't know how the process is, show the process to them, and people will recognize the value themselves of research and UX in general. And if you are a solo UX people in the company, I know that so many people have this, they're the only person that is driving UX. Find allies. It's really important that you find someone that have shared the same mindset with you and challenge the status quo, because you cannot do it alone. And user testing is really, really important. Do it as much as you can. By having a lot of user tests, you will showcase the value of research even more and the value of UX even more. And always be the voice of the users. Still promote research findings and learnings. It never stops. You still need to do promotion a lot. And we have learned that we should be patient, that we shouldn't push people that much, because if people don't want it that time, maybe they don't need it, but they will see the value, and it should be self-proved. So thank you so much for your attention. Hope it's useful, and yeah, thank you.